All right, let's get into it here. Just checking on the Facebook feed. But it's a hockey talk show for this Black Friday. Thanks for being along for the ride. Going to be talking about a bunch of stuff on the show today. Islanders rallying for a big win against Philadelphia. The Bruins topping the Pittsburgh Penguins. And the New York Rangers have unveiled a brand new jersey. The Rangers Winter Classic jersey is here. All on this episode of the Hockey Talk Show. Bring it in, baby. Bring it in nice and tight. Hockey Talk Show on this Black Friday. Nice to be here with you. Might be a smidge of a quick one this evening, but we're going to get to some hot topics in the National Hockey League, including the new Winter Classic jersey for the New York Rangers. They just unveiled this just now, and it is pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. All right, hang on. Doing some technical diffs. Some tech diffs. And now we're good to go. I don't know what's going on with the Facebook stream. It seems like we're struggling a little bit on the Facebook stream tonight. Seems like there's a bit of a struggle. But we're going to fight through it anyway. Thanks for joining us here on the Hockey Talk Show. Of course, the phone number is live, 631-438-1768. If you want to call into the program on Twitter at Hockey Talk Show, you can also just comment in the Facebook and YouTube chat rooms that are live along with the show. And of course, if you're listening to this later on a podcast, Stitcher, iTunes, the TuneIn Radio app, thanks for being along for the ride. Remember to rate and review the podcast if you want it to continue to grow. That's how we rank on the podcast world. So if you're not rating and reviewing, it's super important. The Hockey Talk Show will eventually dry up and die. That is literally what will be happening. Let's talk about New York Rangers hockey. The Rangers. First of all, let's start here. Let's start with Adidas. When I first heard that Adidas was going to be designing and taking over the equipment of the National Hockey League, I thought this was insane. I thought to myself, the company who got behind Run DMC is going to be taking over the hockey jersey operation for the National Hockey League. It just seems so random to me. You know, it just seems so bizarre. But they have done a killer job. They have done a killer job over there at Adidas. And I mean, you think about all the people who had it before. Obviously, it was Reebok just before Adidas. And you had CCM in there for years. CCM with a rich hockey tradition. Just for years, CCM designing jerseys and, really just being on the inside of the hockey equipment world, and Bauer and, all these companies that make equipment. Bauer didn't always, I don't think Bauer did jerseys. Maybe they did for a year or so. Nike has done jerseys, especially for the Olympics. Been a ton of Nike jerseys along the years. And you hear that Adidas is coming into the mix, and you're like, what the hell? What is Adidas going to be doing? Honestly, they've been the best hockey jersey designers that we've ever seen, to be perfectly frank with you. They've been phenomenal at the hockey jersey operation. Really solid. I mean, I don't have a complaint about anything that they've done so far. All the regular season jerseys have looked fantastic. And now the Winter Classic jerseys are looking pretty damn fantastic. Let's get into the Buffalo Sabres. Actually, we were talking about this not that long ago. The Sabres jersey, which was unveiled. I'll get it up for you on the screen here. And again, if you're listening via podcast, you can always check out hockeytalkshow.com afterwards to find the feeds for the videos or just to get links. And by the way, we have links for the jerseys in the description below. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you can go down to the description below and click on the link and bam, take you right to the Sabres jerseys, the Rangers jerseys. We have links for holiday deals and special NHL savings that you get from the Hockey Talk Show link alone. So if you want to grab some savings for the hockey fan in your life this year, hockeytalkshow.com has the links to our Facebook and YouTube. Just click on either of those and you'll get to the links. You'll see them in the description below. It's pretty sweet savings. Buffalo Sabres, just to go back over it here, we saw the crest here, just really nice with the little NY in there. Of course, this is two New York teams getting at it this year. I like the striping that they did here, sort of a high stripe and a low stripe with the blue and yellow in between. And of course, when you put them all together, it kind of makes this one big, interesting stripe on the patch. They got the classic Sabre up on top with the Sabre signature in the middle there. And of course, the logo is a throwback to the original for the Sabres. Couple swords and the buffalo in there as well, charging. Nice high stripe on the bottom of the jersey, keeping the buffalo gold and blue in there together, and extending past the original shoulder, drops down on the shoulder itself here, which is really pretty. And we talked about the speculation behind the Rangers jersey and how they had released the T-shirt, and it was just the Ranger logo in the the Ranger outline with an NY in between. And I thought that would make a sweet crest. They didn't go that direction, but they didn't disappoint either. Really pretty design from the New York Rangers. As we bring this in here, I'll get you in for a nice look. Shat Deuces and Matt Zuccarello were the models. And again, if you're listening on the podcast, apologies to you, but take a look at this. Beautiful, beautiful New York Rangers jersey. Now, you can see here up on the shoulder, they've incorporated the NY that we saw on the T-shirt prior to that. They've kept the diagonal writing for the New York Rangers in there, so they still have the Rangers up on front, different font, and just white lettering like they have on there. So it's like the Rangers jersey that they have now, only they also they have just white font. There's no red with the white outline. They're not doing that on this jersey. They're just going straight white block lettering, which I think is really, really sweet. There's a couple of throwbacks to the Rangers 1930s uniform hidden in this, and the Rangers going across the chest without any outlines is one of them. That's how they rocked it back in the 30s jersey. Also, the striping up here and the white collar. The white collar was the signature of the Rangers 1930s jersey lineup. So a nice real throwback to the 30s here for the Rangers, yet keeping some modern notes. Again, stopping the striping before it hits that shoulder is one of the signatures of the new Adidas jerseys, and I like how they brought that into the mix here, seeing as that the Sabres one drops off the shoulder and swoops down the bottom of the shoulder blade. They kept it up on the front of the shoulders for the Rangers jersey, which I think is pretty sweet. No shoulder patch, but they do have this chest upper patch right here, so that's a little bit different from the Buffalo Sabres look, which I think is pretty cool. You also have the white collar, which we pointed out is a 1930s throwback, big numbers on the side. Again, the numbers on the back tend to be larger on these stadium type games, so you can see them from far distances up in the stadium. And they have, of course, the big thick striping, which is, again, a little bit of a throwback to the 30s. And white dominates here as the outlined color. As you can see, it outlines the collar, it outlines the red stripe here, it outlines the bottom stripe, and it outlines the arm stripes, which, again, are signature pieces from the Rangers 1930 uniform set. Padding is super nice. We see the pants here. You got the white outline going all around, which is not too dissimilar from what the Rangers are wearing today. And again, this NY inside the Rangers shield carries the bottom here of the pant. Socks similar with the white outlining the red in the striping, and just really clean, simple socks for the New York Rangers. I love this uniform. I really think they did a phenomenal job over there at Adidas. I mean, they're just bright, sharp, great colors. That deep is really impactful, really deep blue and the white is prominent, which I think is going to be fantastic, especially on a New Year's Day, I should say. Maybe some snow. Sabres are wearing the white jerseys, the white ice in midst of the big city field outline. I think all the white is going to really pop and really stand out. Now, one of the first things that I noticed about the jersey was this NY up here on the shoulder that I thought, hell, maybe that would be great as a center crest. And they put it up here, and I thought, well, with the Rangers slanting down and the R being up so high on the jersey, and this being here, what are they going to do with the captains? Where are they going to put the C and the A? Enter Matt Zuccarello, one of the models. He'll show us. Bam, popped it right inside the jersey logo there. I'm getting real tight for you here, as you can see on Facebook and YouTube Live. Puts the A right in there. So the captains, the two alternates and the captain will not have an NY in their Ranger crest. They'll have a C and an A, and Matt Zuccarello is showing that off. And how pretty is that? I love that detailing. You know, I got to give credit to the Florida Panthers. They're one of the few teams that do something super different for their captains. Florida Panthers on the side of their jersey have a sort of darting panther, a running panther, and underneath the captains have captain or alternate, sort of a throwback to the military and their shoulder side patching. The Florida Panthers do the same thing. And I love it because it makes the captain's jerseys completely different. Now you could argue, oh, the C and the A do that, but we're so used to the C and the A, it's kind of cool seeing something else. And the Panthers have done that. And I like what the Rangers have done here in putting the C and the A inside that New York Rangers shield instead of the NY, which is going to appear on everybody else's jersey. Also kind of makes it special for those of you that are thinking about buying this. It's a great holiday gift item, by the way. Kind of makes it special if you do go with a Zuccarello or a McDonough, or if you just decide to go with, you know, a Buchnevich or anybody else, you get the NY in there. It's kind of a cool little scenario. And you can see we've got the Winter Classic logo up on the top shoulder, just like the Sabres do, and the Rangers opting not to put anything else on this shoulder. And I don't think you need it because you have, you know, you have that Ranger crest in there with the A. There's Shat Deuces with the regular NY in there. There's these two good-looking guys standing together, all smiles. These are impressive uniforms. I'm sorry. These are gorgeous. Really, really gorgeous. Rangers sort of bringing back the old school, darker blues that appeared on their old Lady Liberty jerseys. Remember the Lady Liberty alternates? They're bringing back that dark blue, going away from the lighter powder blue that is on their regular uniforms. That's something else we should point out, which was always great, by the way. I mean, I never met anybody that didn't love those Lady Liberty uniforms. They were so sweet looking. And the Lady Liberty logo and everything, those are just beautiful jerseys. And the color scheme was great. And I like that they've brought that into the mix here on the stadium jerseys. I think it's really sweet all around. Again, we've got links for you down in the description on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to grab these, just click on the link. It'll take you right to the Rangers Winter Classic page and right to the Sabres Winter Classic page. So you can get in there and order those up right quick. And we also have some special holiday deals that aren't going to be around for too long for the holidays. And we have your Black Friday and Cyber Monday link in there as well. You'll see save on NHL gear, and there's a link. Click on that. And boom, you're right in the mix. What up, Liz? Thought the Buffalo Sabres were supposed to be the home team. I wonder why the Rangers get to wear the home blue. Yeah, you know, this was something we were talking about on the last show. I told you about the weird loophole in the Rangers contract with, I don't know if it's with the Garden, because Dolan owns the Garden. I think it's with the city of New York, that they're not allowed to play a home game outside of Madison Square Garden unless, you know, a ceiling tile collapses and it's a safety issue. You know, they have to have like a reason that they're not allowed to play outside of Madison Square Garden. From what I understand, that still is the law of the land, but we're going to have to follow up and figure out what the deal is, because clearly the Rangers are in the home jerseys here, and the Sabres are in the white. Now, it would be no big deal to sort of reverse that and just have the Sabres as the home team with the white. But again, that would be against what the National Hockey League's sort of set of jersey rules have been over the last couple of years. Now, it's not uncommon that happens, that a home team will wear white, but usually it's a very, very special and rare scenario where the visiting team is wearing an alternate jersey and theirs is of a certain color. But if you notice this season with Adidas, there are no alternate jerseys. Adidas rolling out the new uniforms this year, they have not included any of the alternates. No teams are wearing alternates this year. I'm sure that'll roll out next season. These Winter Classic jerseys are the closest things we have to alternates. So again, there is that law that exists between the Rangers and the city of New York, and I don't know what the deal is going to be for that. Now, you would think the city would just say, all right, we'll take our traditional cut out of the Citi Field gate. Obviously, it's going to be bigger. You're going to fit more people in Citi Field than you would Madison Square Garden. But I'm talking all over my head on this one because I don't know what the agreement was, if they came to an agreement or if they're just going to call the Sabres the home team with the white jerseys. It certainly would be an interesting, certainly would be a little bit of an interesting thing. Now, maybe it's just flat out that the Rangers knew they wanted to do some sort of a throwback and they knew that white was the primary thing, and the Rangers jersey would just flat out look better with the blue and the white writing and everything else. Maybe that was as simple as that. Who knows? I'm sure we'll get an explanation from the NHL, although we absolutely have not gotten one as of yet. And believe me, I scoured the world. Nobody is talking why. Just to get a look at the back there, as you can see, traditionally the outdoor game jerseys, the numbering is a lot bigger than the regular season jerseys. And you can see the back end here, the striping going all around. It just looks really good. It's a really impressive jersey. I want to know, what do you think is the better looking jersey, the Rangers or the Buffalo Sabres? You can let me know in the comments below or on Twitter at Hockey Talk Show. That's at Hockey Talk Show. Let's get into a couple of the items that happened today. How about Pastrnak in the game against the Penguins? Penguins and Bruins. This was the big Thanksgiving Day matchup that the National Hockey League holds on Black Friday. I don't know why they don't just label it a Black Friday deal. It would have been perfect with the Bruins and the Penguins. Both of them have black in their uniform. What works better than that? I'm from radio. We like alliteration. We like cheesy connections, and that is definitely one of them. But David Pastrnak just springing forward and giving the Bruins a 4-3 lead in a game which was a smidge controversial. There was a play where Anton Khudobin made a save, and the puck wound up landing on his stomach as he lay flat. Sidney Crosby took a whack at the puck on his stomach. Whistle blew before the puck entered the net, and everybody, including Mike Milbury and Mike Emmerich, thought that goal was going to be disallowed, and it was allowed. And we got John Shannon here from Sportsnet with the explanation from the National Hockey League rulebook, which essentially, I'm not going to read this for you, but states that any puck that any play that is whistled dead or a referee is about to whistle dead, if there's a continuous motion of play and the puck isn't disturbed after the whistle is blown, and it goes in the net, it crosses the line, it can be considered a goal, which is pretty interesting. Sort of a similar way to how in football, if the clock hits 0, but the ball was, hiked before 0, you have all that extra time after the clock goes down to 0 until the play is dead to make a play. So whether that's 10 seconds or 15 seconds, you still get that time. So it's sort of the same principle there. If you shoot the puck and the ref loses sight of it and he blows the whistle, but it's already trickling into the net and it goes in, then that's going to be a good goal. And that's what we saw there today. Obviously, Khudobin for the Bruins wearing the dark jerseys. The black puck is sitting on the black jersey. Referee loses sight. He goes to blow it dead. Crosby hits it before he has a chance to blow it dead, and it's moving into the net as the referee blows the whistle. and it crosses the line, it was called a no goal on the play. It was reviewed by the league, and then it was deemed to be a good hockey goal according to this rule right here that John Shannon was nice enough to post for us on the Twitters today. So a good call from the league to step in there. Of course, the people of Boston were just irate because here again, Sidney Crosby has yet another call go his way on what everybody thought was a bad goal because the whistle had blown technically before the puck went into the net. But as you can see there, the league got it right. It is in their rule books. They can judge and they can make that determination. Let's talk about the... Yeah, Liz brings up a good point here. There's that intent to blow the whistle. There's also that rule where if a referee doesn't blow the whistle, but he has intent to blow the whistle and play continues before he can, and then the puck crosses the net, then that's not a goal, which is so weird, which essentially what this rule does for the National Hockey League is it gives them the flexibility to make a judgment call on whether or not it's a good hockey goal. In fact, it literally says in here, you can see the line in here, to ensure they are good hockey goals. That's that kind of, it's a weird out for the league, but it is in this case what it is because, I'm sure the referee was consulted too. And they probably asked him like, hey, did you get to your whistle late? Like, I'm sure if the referee would have said, I meant to blow it down sooner, but I got to my whistle late, then they might have invoked that rule with intent to blow the whistle. But if he said, no, I just lost sight. And as soon as I lost sight, I blew it. But by the time I went, by the time it was blown, Crosby had already hit it. I get that couple of seconds there is intent. But again, it's Sidney Crosby. So, conspiracy theorists can be abound. I tend to think that he gets the calls too. He might have gotten the lucky one on this one. But it was the referee who did decide to go upstairs, and it was the league who invoked this rule to determine the call. So, I totally get what they're saying. If the referee was like, hey, look, I lost sight of the puck and obviously it wasn't frozen, so I shouldn't have been stopping the play. And it was, maybe the referee chimed in and helped him out a little bit. That's what I can only assume. That's what I would assume happened. So that was from the game this afternoon, which was pretty entertaining. We had some pretty entertaining games this afternoon, including the New York Islanders rallying for a win against the Philadelphia Flyers. Nick Leddy potting the overtime goal. Second time in 2 games that the Islanders blew past the Flyers in overtime, and this time it was Joshua Hosang feeding Nick Leddy. Last game it was John Tavares with an incredible move, and it just an unbelievable, unstoppable determination to get the puck over to Josh Bailey, who in typical Josh Bailey form blew, putting it in the net at first, and then wound up getting lucky enough to get his own rebound, and then got the credit for the overtime winner there. But it brings up my point, which is that Nick Leddy needs to be in serious consideration for one of the best defensemen in the league this year. I mean, he really does. He's got an unbelievable game going for himself this year. I know it's early to be talking about best defenseman in the league, but it's something that honestly needs to be. We need to start throwing his name around in this list a little bit more. Because he's had a hell of a game. He's got big offensive numbers. If he continues on this path for this season, you got to look out for Nick Leddy because he is making some waves with the New York Islanders. Speaking of New York Islanders winning trophies, let's go on over to the rookie race. A buddy of mine said something to me earlier today, Drew, my man, who I work with at WEHM Radio, my full-time gig. He said something interesting to me. He goes, Matthew Barzal, I think we got a Calder, trophy winner in our midst. And I'm like, man, I don't think so, man. I think Clayton Keller's going to take it. He's doing wonders for the Arizona Coyotes. Take a look at the standings for rookies right now in the National Hockey League. And Matthew Barzal has passed Clayton Keller in the points race. Now, it doesn't just go strictly by points. Some other things can come into the mix there, but points is a big part of it. And all right, Barzal only has 6 goals, and Clayton Keller has 11 goals. So that is certainly going to be in favor for Clayton Keller. But you got to take a look at this. This is an interesting 4 to 6 horse race. It really is. And this is an exciting rookie class. I mean, one of the more exciting rookie classes I think we have seen in quite some time. I mean, it is thrilling. You take a look at these guys. Let me zoom in here so you can see all this a little bit better. You got Barzal up on top. He's got 22 points, 6 goals, 16 assists. Brock Bozer, who is doing wonders in Vancouver. Again, Vancouver far overachieving where we all thought they were going to be. Travis Green has done a really tremendous job there. Brock Bozer in on the mix of helping things out. 11 goals and 10 assists. Clayton Keller, 11 goals, 9 assists. Will Butcher and Nico Hischier and Jesper Bratt. Look at these three. 3 out of 4 here. 4, 5, and 7 in this list. Who are just lifting the Devils up, unbelievably keeping them in the mix. Butcher with 16 points, Hischier with 15, Jesper Bratt, I should say, with 14. Alexander Kerfoot in there for Colorado. And Yanni Gourde is having a great season as a rookie for the Tampa Bay Lightning, right in front of his rookie teammate, Mikhail Sergachev, who just got traded over from Montreal with 14 points, respectively. DeBrincat has fallen off a little bit here, 13 points, and Kyle Connor, Adrian Kempe, and Jake DeBrusk round out this top 13. I like Yanni Gourde. He's on a winning team. If he can pick it up a little bit, that'll be great. The Devils just continue to roll with Hischier, Bratt, and Butcher. It'll be interesting to see where they fall on this list. Again, it's not out of the realm of possibility to be in there. The only thing that Clayton Keller has going against him is he's on the Arizona Coyotes. And that makes a difference. And, it's funny. My man Drew pointed this out to me. He's like, he's on the Coyotes. Coyotes stink. And it's true. Rookies who are on really bad teams don't tend to win Calder trophies, especially if it's close. Look, if he finishes 1 or 2 points ahead of one of these other guys, I don't know if he's going to be able to win it. He was out of the gate the best rookie there, but I don't know if he's going to be able to hold his own all the way. Brock Bozer has had a quiet, solid run these first 20-something games that he's played. You see 19 games there. But Matthew Barzal, you got to look out for him because he is getting top minutes on this New York Islander team, which is rolling right now. And not only is he getting top minutes, he's getting top minutes on the power play as well. So they are really looking to him for some important minutes. He's playing with John Tavares. He's playing on the power play with John Tavares, I should say. He's playing with Andrew Ladd and Jordan Eberle. So he's got a great line right now. I think, he's really exploded in the last 10 games, and he continues just to be better. And he's doing it in assists, and assists matter in rookie races. They really do. They really, really matter. Liz, an excellent point. That's why Clayton Keller is a minus 11. Yeah, that's true. Look at this plus minus column. That's an excellent point. Look how much he stands out. The only one closest to him in this top group is Jake DeBrusk in Boston with a -4. He is -7 points higher than any of these other rookies. Jesus, the Arizona Coyotes stink on ice. They are awful. It's a shame, too, because Clayton Keller is the one bright spot. You'd think the league would want to throw him a bone, get those Arizona fans excited about something at least. But unfortunately, it's not like it's Gary Bettman who gets to decide who wins these things. There's an extensive voting process. So I don't know if all the voters are going to keep that in mind. But it's an exciting time for the New York Islanders as far as their play goes, because not only are they shooting up the standings, they got Matthew Barzal, who's in this top rookie race, and they got Nick Leddy, who might be one of the best defensemen in the National Hockey League, and may be up for winning that trophy, taking home some hardware, which is something that the New York Islanders haven't been able to say in the longest time. I mean, I can't remember the last time an Islander was considered for the Norris. I mean, probably going back to Potvin. Probably Dennis Potvin would be the last time, which is an embarrassingly long time, especially for a team that gave up on so many great defensemen, including Zdeno Chara, who won it a bunch. That would be great for the New York Islanders. But I think you got to really consider Nick Leddy in this argument for the Norris Trophy, at least early on. I mean, he has done one hell of a job back there for the New York Islanders. One hell of a job. Let me see if I can bring this in for defenseman and just see where Nick Leddy is at. Yeah, Nick Leddy is third on the list right now behind Klingberg and Pietrangelo for Dallas and St. Louis. You can see, I mean, he's trending up too. He's really trending up. Look at Pietrangelo with his plus 11 in St. Louis. Damn it, that team is so good. They are so good. Might be the only thing, if this list stays the way it is, might be the only thing stopping from Leddy, Klingberg, and Carlson and Gostisbehere from catching up to Pietrangelo is the fact that he's just on a killer team with great goaltending. They're playing offensively as all hell. Might be impossible to catch Pietrangelo. If he stays healthy, he's got a good chance of bringing it home. But I like that Nick Leddy is in the conversation. By the way, believed in Nick Leddy for the longest time. Loved him before he got on the Islanders when he was with Chicago. Was surprised that they ever traded him, but it made sense. They were never going to be able to fit him in the cap. Colorado's been giving away a ton of great players because they are just not able to fit him in their cap situation. But I think his speed and agility is second to none in the league. And I just think he was a lazy player that doesn't really apply himself. I don't know if he's applying himself more now or if he's just getting more looks or if the 3-on-3 in overtime is helping him up, because the open ice is certainly a great thing. But he's one of the fastest defensemen. He's got one hell of a wrist shot and a quick release and knows how to move the puck around on the power play. So I think he is certainly deserving of being in the conversation. Although, granted, he hasn't really played. His play hasn't really warranted it. At times in some spots, but for the most part, the consistency not really there from Nick Leddy. But it's good to see that he's putting it together and that he's staying healthy and that he's in the conversation as one of the top 3 defensemen in the league right now. Speaking of staying healthy, look who's back on the ice. Carey Price will start his first game since November 2nd. He will play against the Buffalo Sabres on Saturday. I think it's pretty interesting that he went in and backed up on Wednesday. Canadians don't play tonight, and then they're back at it on Saturday. Or do they play tonight and they're going with the young kid in there as well? I don't know. We'll double check on that. But the interesting thing I find here, even if they play tonight or not, sort of insignificant, doesn't really matter, is the point that he is coming back against the Buffalo Sabres. I mean, literally coming back against the worst team in the league, who, by the way, are playing tonight and are taking on the Edmonton Oilers. So he gets the Sabres in a back-to-back scenario. You could not have an easier setup to bring a goaltender back into the fold than playing him against the struggling Buffalo Sabres, who, by the way, at the time of the show here, are beating the Oilers 2-0 in the third period. Devils up on the Canucks already, 3-1. That's unbelievable. Tight game between the Rangers and Red Wings, knotted at goose egg apiece. Sens and Blue Jackets at 2 apiece. Leafs are killing the Hurricanes 4-1. Preds over the Blues 1-0 in the second. Kings and Yotes, Flames and Stars all at 0 apiece. Jets beat the Ducks earlier as they continue to roll 14-5-3 on the season. Avalanche lost to the Wild. Isles beat the Flyers in overtime, like we said. Caps over the Lightning, that's a surprising one. Good game for the Caps. And the Golden Knights found a way to win it in overtime, beat the Sharks 5-4. They are 14-6-1. I continue to say and be one of the only hockey pundits in the world that the Vegas Golden Knights are the real deal. Everybody refuses to believe it. The Canadian media is so pissed. I mean, not that they're pissed, but they hate that Ottawa can't draw. Calgary might be moving. Montreal stinks to no end. And the Vegas Golden Knights in their first year are a playoff team. They just hate it. They hate it. They still there are you go around the John Shannons. I don't know about Bob McKay, but all these guys, the Pierre LeBruns, who I totally respect and love and do a phenomenal job. They get the scoops that nobody else in the world can get, and we'll continue to use them as sources. We use John Shannon in this show right here, but all these guys, these experts, still think that George McPhee is going to be selling players off at the trade deadline. They're 14-6-1. They're in a tough Western, conference where anything could happen, and they certainly can get. Other teams can certainly catch up to them. But right now, this team is sitting number 1 in the Pacific Division, 3 points ahead of the Los Angeles Kings with a game in hand. It's now past that quarter pole time in the league, Thanksgiving for America, and the Vegas Golden Knights are first in the Pacific Division. This would be catastrophic if they either fell out of contention and traded all those players or stayed in first place. You cannot trade James Neal off a first place team. Talking about building for the future. Guess what, kids? The future's now in Vegas. The future is now. This goes another 10 games and they're still 1 or 2 in that division. I'm going to start talking about the Vegas Golden Knights being a lock for the playoffs. A lock. Now, it's a smidge too early because Minnesota has the last wild card spot right now, and they're just 4 points behind Vegas. So it's too early to tell. But to sit here and talk about Vegas trading off players, you've got to be insane or living in Canada, because they are not trading anybody if this team continues to go the way they're going right now. They're a first place team. Vegas Golden Knights are legit. I can't sit here right now and tell you they're a lock for the playoffs, but I can sit here and tell you they are going to be in the mix for the playoffs. And I'm telling you, all the other guys are going, well, they're still going to probably consider trading. It's not about now. It's about the future. Guess what? The future is now for Vegas. They have it. They have the youth in Marchessault and Tuck and some of these other players. They have the scoring and the leadership from the older guys, with James Neal being there and Marc-Andre Fleury. They've got great goaltending. They're built really well. Are they as deep as other teams? No, they're not. A couple of key injuries. Are they in trouble? Yeah, they are. But as we can see here, what they've done with all their goalie injuries, they're still first place in the division. So, they found a way to play above their means for sure. And all their guys are going exactly the way they need to be going. Plus 13 goal differential. It's no fluke. The Vegas Golden Knights are a good team. I know it upsets everybody because you want to build a team and suffer through the draft and years of being bad and burning it down and building it up again. How could it all happen in one quick year? Guess what? It can. That's what happens when you got good players available to you, when you have a great coach and a really smart general manager who pulled all the right strings, made all the right deals, and got all the right players in place. Let's be honest. McPhee did a great job. He did a great job. And maybe the best move that George McPhee did was hiring Gerard Gallant to bring him in here and get him around young guys and make them play the style of game that he likes to play, which is fast, super forecheck all over the opponents, suffocating them, never giving them a moment. By the way, if you're a Florida Panther fan, you might want to kill yourself because your stupid team put dumb management in place that eventually fired Gerard Gallant and moved Dale Talon over and honestly blew what could have been a great run for your organization. I don't know if the Florida Panthers will ever be able to, reconcile the fact that they flat out blew it by making some dumb, foolish moves. That's what happens when you sit there in the owner's box and you let idiots sweet talk you into making stupid decisions. Put good hockey people in good places and you'll go plenty far. Sit there and listen to people talk and promise you the world, and you're sitting there as the Florida Panthers, second to last in the East, while your head coach is bringing an expansion team in their first year to the playoffs. That is it for this edition of the Hockey Talk Show. Again, links with special savings in the description on Facebook and YouTube. Click on the Shop NHL link at hockeytalkshow.com if you're listening over the stream. But I'm telling you got to go to the Facebook and YouTube. Click those links. We got those special deals for you. Direct links to the Rangers and Sabres Winter Classic jerseys, special holiday deals that are going on right now, and of course, general savings on the NHL. The Black Friday deal is up right now. Cyber Monday will be taking that link's place, so wherever you get a chance to watch this, this is being taped on Black Friday. If you're listening to this on Cyber Monday, you're catching up over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, click the links. The links are still good. They're going to still bring you to the savings. Some of them are 25% off. Some of the holiday deals on the old Reebok jerseys are like 40% off. There's some unbelievable savings. So if you're thinking about getting something for the hockey fan in your life, click those links in the description below and get some savings courtesy of the Hockey Talk Show. A lot of fun doing this with you this week. We'll take a couple of days off here, Saturday and Sunday. We'll be back on Cyber Monday for more, recapping all the action. A lot of games today and tomorrow on the docket. So I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about Monday right here on the only daily live call-in show that talks about nothing but hockey, the Hockey Talk Show. Fun hanging with you guys. I will see you.